Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram is at AnonymousRealityT. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking Love Island Games Season 2, Episode 8, y'all. And not much happened tonight other than the duel. In production, we got beef. I got beef with you, production. We're doing eliminations based off of a lap dance. How well you lick somebody's ear, or sucked on somebody's finger, or threw it in a circle. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, you guys? So, the episode picks up from the heart rate challenge. We see Sydney and Isaiah kind of have a talk. Isaiah is not interested, Sydney. He's not interested. He don't care. He immediately makes a beeline over to Johnny, who I think might be his bestie in real life, and is like, you know, I'm just making the best of this, bro. And Johnny's like, yeah, this is mad awkward, bro. And Isaiah's like, I know, bro. So bro this, bro that. Then Sydney has a conversation with Toby, and allegedly they got some type of little history or little shindig. Apparently something went down, or they encountered each other at the Love Island Games Season 1 watch party or premiere party or whatever it was when they were doing all that press in LA a couple of years ago. No. So Toby allegedly is rumored to have something with Lucinda in the past, and now allegedly has had something with Sydney in the past, but I'm like Isaiah, I'm like Zay, I don't recognize you. I don't recognize you at all. So we didn't really see anybody else have any chats post heart rate challenge, which is usually customary if somebody else raised your heart rate other than your couple or things like that. But no. All production cared about was the duel. So immediately, almost right after Isaiah and Nicola sit down, they get a text message that, hey, as power couple, you win a night at the Hideaway. Because what makes the most sense? Garbi and Kendall, who are progressing in their connection to get a hideaway. Chris and KK, who are progressing in their romantic connection to get a hideaway. No. How about a friendship couple with no romantic connection that has terrible communication skills? You win the hideaway. No, absolutely not. So, nonetheless, Nicola, she's putting on her best, outfit, her best, whatever for this hideaway, because she thinks that something's about to go down. And this is my issue with Nicola. She does not read signals well. She does not read social cues well. So nonetheless, the girls are hyping her up and playing make-believe like something is about to go down tonight with Isaiah. And I got another thing coming, and so does production. So they all serenade Isaiah and Nicola as they head to the hideaway. Here's Tyrique being messy. Hopefully the friendship status changes. Maybe it could be friendship or something more. Everybody is freaking out that this friendship couple has gotten the hideaway. Like these are the games that production plays, and I just do not respect it at all. I don't respect it at all. Couples who have romantic connections should be the ones in the hideaway, not friendship couples. Make it make sense! So nonetheless, everybody is getting ready for bed. Everybody is debriefing on the challenge. Andrea is freaking out that she might be vulnerable again, and all of this and all of that. And it was funny because when everybody went to bed, y'all, nobody was cuddling or kissing or smooching in bed, because everybody was like, what in the world, what in the welly, ante, because some of them were vulnerable, right? So they weren't trying to, get down with the get down. Probably everybody was stressed, right? So then you guys, Also before bed, KK and Chris had a talk, and it didn't go well because it was, it always turns into KK tries to like debrief. How did we go from power couple to now being vulnerable? And then Chris just turns it cheesy. I just can't stop looking at you. You're just so beautiful. I just can't stop looking into your eyes. And it's like, shut up, Chris. But then it was funny because Mr. Marvin stole KK right out the way. And Chris was jealous. And it was hilarious. I enjoyed every moment of it, you guys. And even after the heart rate challenge, here comes Marvin giving KK compliment troll. You were so beautiful. You are so beautiful. You look so much more beautiful in person than on TV. I was like, there you go, Marvin. There you go. Just keep kicking it up a notch and all of the things. So nonetheless, the rest of the episode was really about the hideaway and the duel. So we have, Isaiah and Nicola. Isaiah gets a text that like, listen, look here, you got to choose 2 girls, 2 guys to go in the duel. Why was Isaiah and Nicola arguing over who to choose? Apparently, Nicola did not want to see Chris versus Johnny. She wanted to either see Toby versus Chris or Toby versus Johnny. I guess she wants Toby gone, right? It's what I'm thinking. I'm guessing she's thinking that Toby's the weak competitor so he can go, but then her rationale for the girls didn't make sense because technically Andrea, with that same logic, would be the weak competitor. Therefore, she should have gone into the duel based off of that logic, right? But that was not the same logic. Instead, you decided, hey, it would be a fair competition if Andrea versus KK goes, y'all. So the holdup was, they were going to go with Johnny and Toby was like where they left the scene. And she's like, that's not what, you want, though. You haven't made a decision. And Isaiah's like walking away pissed off and everything else. And I was like, here we go. Here we go. This is not a compatible couple in any capacity, y'all. So then we get the next day, y'all. We get the next day, nobody's got breakfast, nobody's got anything. Some of the Islanders are peeking out. Chris sees immediately there's a ring out there, so he already knows that there's going to be a duel today. And so then they all the Islanders, they come out in their jammy jams, and they are all circling around the ring. All the different Islanders are getting the text messages, letting them know that Isaiah and Nicola had to choose 2 guys and 2 girls for the duel. And they read Johnny's names first, and then they read Chris's name, and Chris is pissed. Johnny is like, well, I expected it. I expected how this was going to go and everything else. Then it was Andrea and KK. And, KK, is like, not happy with any of this, right? And Andrea feels a certain type of way because she feels like I've been fighting for my life since I've been in here, right? So nonetheless, eventually, everybody's like debriefing with each other, right? We got Andrea acting like, Johnny is going off to war and she is going to never be able to kiss him again and trying to hype him up and everything else. And she's like, I don't know what I would do without you in here. I don't know if I could survive. I can't survive without you. Andrea is down bad for Johnny, and it's really insane. It's like literally insane, you guys. Isaiah and Nicola eventually come back from the hideaway after arguing all morning, y'all. And Isaiah had to ask her a couple times for even a hug, and the hug even was awkward. Sydney said that her and Zay still have to have a conversation about their couple or their relationship, even though they haven't seen each other in 2 years. Sydney needs to let this go. You already made a comment that you did not care about any of these girls that were here and that you didn't even care if a romantic connection happened or not with Zay. You are allegedly here for money, but you also made a weird comment. You said that you will be with any man that's willing to give you a treat. Are you a dog? Are you an animal? Like what is happening, right? So nonetheless, Isaiah and Nicola come back and everybody's pissed off, right? But I noticed the dynamic. A lot of the guys were supporting Isaiah. And Josh was, Johnny, immediately came and gave Isaiah a hug and said, I respect it, bro. I respect it, bro. It would have been the same thing that I did, right? Chris is stone-faced, does not want to talk to anybody, has an attitude. Nicola tries to come over to explain things. Kay gets up and walk away and everything else. And I had a bad feeling because I saw a lot of screen time for KK this episode, and I was a little bit worried. And I saw a little bit more screen time today for Chris because he was just complaining and being a little man-child about everything, and I was not worried. about so much screen time for Chris, because I was like, this must be good news for me. But then on the flip side, when I saw this much screen time for KK, I was like, this must be bad news for me. So nonetheless, eventually Ariana comes in and is announcing everything. Everybody's got to get ready, has to get in their blues and their yellows. Then there's going to be this drama that is going to be magnified. So what happened was, at some point when Nicola is trying to explain to everybody, the rationale as to why her and Isaiah made the picks that they made, KK gets up and goes, right? So she goes off to sit somewhere to just kind of decompress and get her mind right for the duel. Nicola comes over to eventually find her. KK tells her, listen, look here, I don't want to talk right now. However, Nicola then tries to sit down next to her, and KK's like, listen, look here, I'm just trying to get in the zone. I really don't want to speak right now. But Nicola just completely turned it into, let me just turn on these tears real quick. Let me turn on these tears real quick. I would never treat somebody like that. I would never do somebody like that. Meanwhile, KK did not cuss her out. Meanwhile, KK did not call her any names or call her out her name or try to fight her or nothing. She was like, listen, Leah, just don't talk to me right now. Just don't speak to me right now. I'll come holler at you later, right? And so, but it turned into this whole thing. And then when the girls were getting ready for the duel in the dressing room, you've got Garbi holding on to KK, telling her it's going to be okay. And then we got, Andrea crying to Lucinda because allegedly Andrea and KK are besties in the villa and they do not want to go up against each other. Allegedly, right? So then Isaiah is explaining to the guys, sans Chris, that his time in the Hideaway was horrible. This is not like his other times in the Hideaway. So nonetheless, and they were just doing all this arguing and they were like, listen, you made the decision and everything else. So Ariana comes in and she has on an interesting dress today, but nonetheless, she announces, who's going to be in the duel, how does everybody feel, introduces herself to Sydney and Marvin and all this and all that. Then she explains what the duel entails and explains that what'll happen is there are 4 squares. The 2 blue squares are diagonal and the 2 yellow squares are diagonal. You will have this life-size beanbag with handlebars on it, and you have in 45 seconds, you have to, whatever strategy you're going to use, you have to have most of the beam or all of the beam on your colored square. And whoever does it in 45 seconds in the best of 3 rounds wins and gets to stay there in the game. And loser gets to get dumped immediately from the villa, right? So, of course, they have ladies go first. And I already had a bad feeling about this. For whatever reason, before all of this, Ariana is asking Nicola again what her rationale was and everything else. And she's trying to blame Isaiah, that Isaiah really wanted Chris and Johnny. But for whatever reason, Nicola is, her rationale is not rationalizing and choosing KK and Andrea other than she wants to advance for herself. And since KK's already been in a power couple and Andrea has already finished strong in other challenges, having one of them out of the way is good for her. However, what she did not factor in is also if she potentially loses Chris, then she's back to no connection. So nonetheless, KK and Andrea go first, right? And the first round was very, it was a very tough fight. But then towards the end, I felt Andrea pulled away and she won the first round. Round 2 is where I have an issue. Round 2 is where I have a conniption, and round 2 is where I feel a certain type of way. Because I felt like, and Andrea was like, don't underestimate KK. She is small, but she is mighty. She's got a lot of resilience and everything else. And nonetheless, I feel like KK was at a disadvantage on round 2 because her shoes had slipped off. Her sock was off on one of the things. I don't know if her shoes were properly, put on or tight or whatever else or something else goofy that had happened. But nonetheless, I think what happened was her one shoe fell off and she just decided to kick off the other one. I don't think it was a strategy. I think her shoe fell off by accident and then she just decided to kick off the other one, unless I watched a different show. But nonetheless, at that point, you have on one sock that's kind of slippery and then you have your barefoot on the other and you're trying to, move this beam, right? And it just, ultimately Andrea overtook it and ended up winning, right? So, unfortunately, KK is dumped from the villa. However, you guys, they made KK sit there and watch the men's round. like these people are diabolical. I just found out I lost my chance on winning 250K, but now I have to sit here and watch the man I'm in a couple with also potentially go home as well and lose the opportunity to win 250K. No. So, none of the less, you guys, we get to round 2. We get to the main event. We get to the battle royale, the alleged, argue with whoever, potentially the 2 strongest men in the villa, right? Chris has already won power couple before. Johnny has already come up, runner up multiple times before, right? So it should be a good battle, right? But he's not new to this. He's true to this, right? Nonetheless, the first battle happens, the first round happens, and it is a dog out, drag out fight. I mean, they are fighting, they're going after it. Initially, Chris tries to utilize his height to just hold on to the beam and just try to hold it, and thinking that he was going to hold it there for 45 seconds and Johnny was not going to do anything. And Johnny came in to work. Johnny came in and used his strength and used his upper body skills and dragged that beanbag all over the place. Not the beanbag, but dragged that beam all over the place, right? And so ultimately it got to a point where eventually Johnny won, like I expected him to, right? However, you guys, Johnny won round 1. And we're like, okay, let's get to round 2. Let's get to round 2. Except for Chris was, he was down for the count, y'all. I'm like, what is happening? Is Chris about to forfeit? Is he about to be a sore loser? Like, what is happening? No. Apparently, allegedly, Chris either dislocated or did something to his finger, you guys. He did some type of spin move or some type of turn move, and it hurt his finger. So they had to bring out the medic show. They had to bring out the medical professionals, and it was determined by the medical professional that Chris could not continue in the duel, you guys. So nonetheless, Ariana and production basically said, listen here, we have to go based off of what your results previously were. Well, there was only 1 round. Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about past competitions for Johnny from season 1? Like, what are we saying? What are we saying? And Ariana was like, since you won the first round, since we have to go based off of what was completed, Johnny, you won the first round, therefore you win, right? And so Johnny's like, a win is a win. I would have preferred us to go the full 3 rounds to see who really is the biggest, the baddest, and everything else. However, I won. I don't have to go home. I got your crybaby behind up out of here, right? So, nonetheless, that is what happened there. And, everybody says their goodbyes. Everybody loves KK. And Johnny, one thing. Andrea, I need you to stand up, girl. I need you to stand up because why did you fall out and have a meltdown after round 1 with Johnny? What were you doing? You were so dramatic and out of pocket and out of order. Girl, I'm gonna need you to stand up and get it together. She was falling apart. She was falling out like Johnny was about to be wheeled off to the emergency room. And something happened. And mind you, Johnny won, you guys. Johnny won. Johnny is okay. I just don't understand. I was confused. Tyrique, did he shed a thug tear for KK? Did he shed a tear for KK? Because he looked very somber and very distraught. And I misinterpreted. I thought the preview clip for tonight's episode, Tyrique was upset about Toby, but him being upset over KK is interesting. He is very sad that she got eliminated, and they had a little cute moment there at the end, y'all. But nonetheless, Chris and KK are talking like they're going to pursue something on the outside. I don't know if I buy it. Because Chris was moving very weird in this villa. Maybe it could be the edit that they weren't showing his affection and things. But I'm just not buying it. So nonetheless, everybody has to pack up and go. They do a final group hug at the end. And then Chris, of course, has to get another dig in there. I'm not used to being eliminated. And it's like, Chris, and memo to production, no more people from season 7. No more people from season 7 Act like you've been here before. Act like you know. Like the arrogance is so off-putting. The arrogance, the behavior. This is why Charlie and Chris have gone out of this villa, because y'all don't know how to act. Y'all don't know how to act. Y'all don't know how to conduct yourselves. But nonetheless, overall, some of the Islanders are happy because obviously they took out big competitors that they don't have to worry about later on in the game. But that doesn't mean you still don't have competition in the villa. There was not a preview for tomorrow's night's episode, so I don't know if we get the day off again, because previously on the normal Love Island seasons, we normally have Wednesdays off. But since this is abbreviated season for like 3 weeks or whatever, I don't know if we're still going to get an episode tomorrow. But there was no preview for tomorrow night. So we will find out momentarily if there's an episode tomorrow or if we have to wait till Thursday. But nonetheless, that is it for this video. It is todos, it is finito, it is final. It is the end of the road for this video. So please let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.